Hello, once again, everybody, to yet another filler art video. This week, in our search to continue our mural, we are going to be adding, hopefully not another flying type, Primal Groudon. Let's see how this goes. All right, folks. So this week we're going to be doing Primal Groudon. I guess not really much to say here, other than I was kind of screwing around for a little bit trying to figure out a pose that I like. So don't mind the fact that I kind of just left all of my messing around in right there. Because honestly, I couldn't think of how I wanted to pose and save the life of me at first. I think this ended up being one of the harder ones that I did, purely because of the sheer fact that I wasn't sure where I was going with it. I ended up looking at plenty of references and this, that, and the other thing, and just I felt like I was doing too many side profile views. That's why right here, as we linger on this set of concentric V's, we're just kind of stuck in place. Inevitably, we end up giving it one more good old college try, I believe. Kind of just trying to figure out the angles and the points and see how we like everything. I do believe in the end I decided against this view because I was having a heck of a time trying to figure out the perspective properly. That being said, I do like where it ended up going. We went more of an approach of he's on the attack, like he is the one that notices everybody's sitting here trying to sleep and relax after a long day's work. It adds some contextualization for alligator kind of just peering into the camera directly, even though the Groudon was added significantly later. Now, if there's any of you that are following along that may have noticed we're missing a couple of guys, little inside baseball here. I recorded this entire series over the course of a weekend, and any additions that were made were kind of just tossed into the finalized product. So, like, I know what the next mon is already after Groudon, and I already have kind of a base figured out for what exactly the layout is for the finalized product. But still fun for me making you guys have to wait and see how everything goes week by week as you continue following along. Speaking of continuing to follow along, thank you so very much to all of you guys that have been sticking around with this series throughout the entirety of it. I grew up in a fairly artistic household, and just getting the recognition for doing something creative like this is really nice, and sincerely, I do very much so appreciate all of you that have been watching, whether you're a first-time viewer or you're a consistent viewer. Knowing that there's some kind of an audience for this helps me continue to want to make it. Speaking of series, though, I do have a couple of other things cooking up in the works. If you want to keep updated as to when those might be coming out and what they might be about, feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell. And hopefully there'll be some kind of more information on that relatively soon. Oh, but I suppose I should probably start talking about this drawing, shouldn't I? So, as I'm going through, I'm kind of just trying to get Groudon's head. Given the scaling that everyone else has been throughout most of this, it would be way too hard to get much more than that into this portrait mural wallpaper background. So we're just going through and we got all the line art done. And he's looking nice and menacing. We're gonna go through and we're gonna give him his colors now, between that yellow pupil and the kind of molten rock under skin that he has going on. And I only really believe that it's molten rock because how it kind of just flows on his internal, you know? It's like everything underneath the plates is just surrounded by it, or engulfed in it, rather. Which, I mean, more or less makes sense considering it is... He's not the continent Pokemon, but he's the bringer of land and whatnot. So much like the tectonic plates of Earth shifting, he would be the molten magma with these plates shifting across his body as he moves. Oh, but now we're going through just making sure that we're getting everything colored in right. Like these darker pieces that are around his body, because as you can tell right here, I messed up just a touch on some of it because I wasn't quite sure at first where I was going. But we got that touch-up done. We're getting these touch-ups all done. Getting that lower mandible all taken care of and filled in. Next up, we are going to go back in and kind of work on getting this red down, I believe. Yep. At least for his eyes. And then we're going to shift over and get that kind of like cherry red for his plates laid down. Not sure I remember what I was doing with the yellow on his back, though. That's a curious little predicament we found ourselves in, but regardless, it got taken care of. But yeah, so as we're going through here, we're just going to finish up getting all this candy red around his body. Get those plates looking all nice and pretty. And we'll go through and we'll clean up any loose lines that went outside that we maybe didn't see before, like that yellow, because of us going through and doing that first. It was a little hard to see against that white background. But then at this point, I decided that we needed to get him his own little setting. Little bundle of trees, you know, for him to kind of poke out over. Just to really kind of match that aesthetic of everything else, you know? I want him to be menacing and kind of just looming over everybody, and I feel like him kind of poking out over top of everything really kind of helps sell sell the scale of him. And don't worry, I do go through and I end up fixing up the little bit of white spot that's hanging off onto the side there. Don't get all worried on me here. But yeah. I mean, overall, this one was pretty fun to draw. It took a bit more work than I was hoping for. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty nice otherwise. So yeah. Just look at them. And they're all menacing, like, with everybody else just kind of hanging out. Gotta get rid of our reference here. Get him all positioned where we need to. I don't quite like that first one, but here we go. Like I said, just kind of hanging off in the back, looming over the trees. But, yeah. Thanks, guys. Alrighty, folks, with that, that is going to do it for today's episode. If you like what you saw, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more of my content, go to my channel or hit subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep up to date. YouTube's pretty good about pushing things to you guys, but you never know, just in case. Otherwise, if there's something you'd like to see in a future video, leave a comment down below. In the meantime, folks, thank you again for watching. Bye.